clip of the day.
I was asked specifically not to talk about this, and I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to play a clip because it reflects how I think.
The world lost a smile. You know what I mean? It's especially the suicide. I think there's something in these medicines that people are taking for depression that's making them depressed and making them commit suicide. I swear. I don't think it's depression. I think it's chemical, and I think there's some kind of antidepressant drug that they're taking that's causing them to have visions and making them kill themselves. There's drugs out there that if you take it and if you have a certain descent, it will make you a little crazy, like certain allergy medicines. And I just feel like it's chemical, and it's not. I don't think it's just him going, "Hey, I'm gonna slit my wrist and jump off and choke myself." I mean, I just think that there's something else happening that's in there. Yeah. I mean, he was such a joyful dude, man. I just can't. My heart broke.
Marlon Wayans, who said that?
Well,
that's all.
As you know,
we don't have to. I was asked specifically not to talk about it.
Yeah, well, most of the information is now public domain. We did get a letter from a pharmacist who said, and this is kind of known too, is that people that put these people on antidepressants, and it's not as though they're always having thoughts of suicide anyway. It's just that some of the antidepressants give you the guts to actually commit suicide when you normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
And this is what needs to be looked into.
And we've been tracking this a lot of times, certainly
since day one of this show.
In the United States, certainly, when you have a teen suicide, and we've had a lot of these, gay teenager gets cyberbullied, commits suicide. The lawyers who show up, and we've tracked this, I can't remember which episode we did a big deconstruction of it. The lawyers who show up are lawyers who are also involved in pharmaceutical affairs. And what you rarely hear, or if you hear it, it is not deconstructed or discussed, is that these children who were cyberbullied, and sometimes even because of just who they were, how they were feeling with their sexuality, are put on medication. And it is, although I think it's an insignificant 2 to 4% increase in children of suicides when they're on medication, I believe the percentage of suicides where medication was involved is extremely high. Extremely high. And that is, of course, you're not going to have the traditional media talk about that. It is the bread and butter of a lot of their business.
Right. They make too much money.
They cannot do that.
But one of these days, this is going to end because they're going to get these guys and they're going to arrest them all. It seems to me they're. Well, I mean, it's interesting that story we had where the girl dropped dead right after visiting the doctor to get an HPV shot. Mm-hmm. And this sort of thing, which I have to say, people should appreciate the No Agenda Show because we're not anti-vaxxers by any means.
No.
But we have a objective look at what's going on with the drug industry. This drug industry is horrible.
Yeah.
And they're just, they're not doing anything about antibiotics, which is really what's needed. There's no, people should look this up. There's no phage research being done in this country. It's all being done in Russia and other places. But it's one of the very promising technologies for just dealing with bacteria. None of that's being done. It's all about these, hard-on pills, hair loss pills, antidepressants, never-ending blood pressure pills you have to take for the rest of your life. And now there's lawsuits going on about Lipitor and some of these other
big lawsuits, yeah.
And it's just, but they've already made so many billions of dollars they can push these lawsuits off. They don't care. This is a horrible situation. And Pfizer shuts down all its research on antibiotics because they're making too much money doing other stuff. They don't see the reason to do the other thing because there's a problem with giving somebody an antibiotic and it cures them. Where's your follow-up sale? Everything's got to be follow-up sales. You got to keep pumping vaccines.
What's the pipeline? What's your pipeline, man?
It's just this is a mess. And
yes,
now we have this. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And obviously the United States, certainly of Gitmo Nation, One of the few countries that allows pharmaceuticals to be advertised on television. Most countries don't allow that.
No, I know. That's actually been a plague, the advertising on television, because the public's so stupid. Ask your doctor if XYZ is right for you. So these people go in and they ask their doctor, and some of these doctors, by the way, have been corrupted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, not some. All of them. They all this huge money.
Not my doctor.
Huge money.
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
Yeah, man. It's mean.
So meanwhile, we have this very creepy commentary. This guy, the head of the CDC, is everywhere.
Oh, this is the guy that the Fauci guy?
No, not Fauci.
Okay.
The other guy, Thomas, whatever.
Yes, yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, got it.
Who I think is one of the guys. He's like an Ebola expert too. So this guy's on, and he's on one of these Commonwealth Club, one of these meetings where he's sitting in a chair with a bunch of other people yakking about one thing or another. And I want to play this clip because he drops a little bomb at the end that is like, I don't know why anybody doesn't just. This relates back to my commentary about Ebola being developed in the laboratory in Fort Detrick. And this is always, it's bullshit, it's conspiracy stuff. Just listen to this.
We can focus on stopping these outbreaks, and that's something that we will certainly do. Or we can focus not only on stopping these outbreaks, but also on putting in place the laboratories, the disease detectives, the emergency response systems that will find, stop, and prevent future outbreaks of Ebola and other threats. We do face in this country a perfect storm of vulnerability with emerging infections like Ebola, resistant infections like the ones we discussed in our last hearing, intentionally created infections which remain a real threat.
Intentionally created? What?
That's what I said.
What? Wait a minute. Was there more to this? How can this be?
He didn't say anything. He just kept talking. They just put that right in there, just dropped that bomb. I cut it off there because from then on it was just yak, 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 and it had nothing to do with it. But that's what he said. Play that little end again.
Okay.
Just in our last hearing, intentionally created infections which remain a real threat.
And he didn't say intentionally created by Al Qaeda?
No, that's it. No, that was, I'm telling you, I could put it in context. I could have a longer clip. Believe me, that was just in the middle of nowhere.
Well, you know what that is.
Clip of the day.
Oh, yeah.
About time.
Yeah, about time, indeed. Finally. Wow.
Yeah.
And let me guess. The moderator of the panel immediately said, hey, what intentional disease intentionally created?
No. They didn't. Nobody said anything.
I am putting this into the evergreen bin. We need a copy of it, at least. There you go. It's in the evergreen bin.
No, that was just that. Yeah.
Wow.
This is what we do. We catch this stuff for you. That's what the No Agenda Show is good for.